Good evening, my subscribers. Tonight I'm going to take you through the process of creating a Djinn altar. This altar is for use with Hargroves' system of practical Djinn Magick, which is a really good book for a beginner learning how to deal with and control Djinn and Djinn forces. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. Now, this Djinn altar that I'm proposing to create isn't actually a part of the book, and it isn't ever talked about by Hargrove. This technique was given to me by a colleague by the name of Rav. Rav, this was excellent work, and I'm greatly appreciative that you showed it to me. Now, what you need is a chessboard, an old chessboard of any sort, okay? Get that. Don't worry about the pieces for now. Just put them aside. We're going to take a marker, white, silver, black, something you can see, okay? Now, I like to use silver Sharpies, so we're going to use that. The very first thing we're going to do is orient the altar with our directions. I know that in front of me directly is north, so I'm going to make an N right here. Okay. This side of me would be the east. Okay. Behind me is the south. Okay. And over here would be the west. Okay, that's the first step. Okay, now the next step. On this row here, the second row, okay, in between the second and third row, right here, start with by making the sign of the sun, the circle with a dot in it. Next, the moon, the crescent. Next, Mars. Next, Mercury. Next, Jupiter. Next, Venus. Next, Saturn. Now, in the very four center squares of the board, I want you to make a square out of those four center squares, okay? Now, the marking part is done. Blow on it a little bit to get it to dry. Okay. Now, find four pawns that are indistinguishable from one another. These pawns are going to go directly on the cardinal directions. These are the elders of the Djinn. Mazur, Kamtam, Kaswara, Ta'ikal. Okay? Do you see how I have 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay? The four Djinn elders. Now, you need to determine your birth king, okay, for you personally. That means you need to go and find on the exact day of your birth what day it was. Like, for example, I was born on a Tuesday several decades ago. That means my birth king is the ruler of Tuesday. I take the piece, the king, and I place it on Mars. Okay? Next, I will take a rook and place it, and it doesn't matter how you do this. Take a rook and place it on the moon. Take a knight and place it on the sun. Take the queen and put it on Venus. Take a knight and put it on Mercury. Take a rook and put it on Jupiter. Take a knight and put it on Saturn. So now you have different pieces on each Djinn ruler of the day, each planetary ruler, okay? You can totally change that up. It can be knights here and rooks there. Just don't put them next to each other so you don't get confused, okay? Now, you also need the three Djinn servants of the day. I like to use bishops for this. You're going to place them here. 1, 2, 3. Okay? These are the Djinn of the day that the king who rules the day commands to grant your wish. Now, we are going to walk through how this works. Today is Thursday. I wish to do the ritual of untamed riches. I'm going to walk you through it right now. I place my king of the day, the Jupiterian king, in the front and center square. Now he is giving orders to my Djinn. This is why I love the Djinn altar. It gives you a visual representation of the forces that you are commanding. I even have a nice little brass lamp, and I like to put incense here. Now, one thing I really recommend that you do before you get too deep into this is, let me find some here in the incense stash. We need to find, and I think it's right here. No. Yeah. Oh, here we are. No, that's not it either. Sandalwood. Now, if you don't know, sandalwood is like bait for Djinn. Djinn smell the scent of sandalwood, and they linger and come near. Okay? This is a really good tool to help you focus on and work with the spirits of the Djinn. All right? Now, we're going to take our piece of incense. We're going to light it up. Okay. We're going to take the smoke and we're going to smoke the pieces and we're going to smoke the board to make it more attractive to the Djinn. You know what? You don't have to do that. I do it. It works for me. I mean, I'm just giving you what works for me. I'm not giving you what works for Tom, Dick, or Harry, or some other dude on a forum. I'm giving to you what works for me. And I have a real high rate of success, so I want to share that with you, because anything that I can share with you from my experience to help you, that's what I'm actually trying to do here. So anyway, all right. Now we've got our incense going. According to Corwin Hargroves' book, Practical Djinn Magic, we need one black candle lit. And that's it right there. Now I'm going to dim the lights. And we are going to use our Djinn board right now. I'm going to walk you through the Untamed Riches ritual of Hargroves' book, Practical Djinn Magic. Why? Because it's Thursday and I could use some extra money just like everybody else. I routinely employ the Djinn for prosperity purposes on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I have a great business that's booming. So, let's do it. Now, first, you stare into the flame and identify with flame and imagine the entire universe as one living flame. The time before physical matter existed and the time before man came. This was the time of the Djinn. Now, we are going to connect with that by focusing on it and chanting L repeatedly until I feel that connection. You are probably going to need to do it a lot longer than me because I do this all the time, so this is very easy for me. You should do it for 3 to 5 minutes, okay? I'm not going to do it that long. I don't need to. But for you, do not skimp on a quality connection with the spirits. The reason you're doing this is to make that connection so that you can work with the spirits. Don't half-ass this and don't slack. Do it until you feel the heat rising off your skin and in your soul. Now you're ready, okay? Let's do it. L, L, L. I use my wand as a focus. L, 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 L. I'm ready. Now we begin the opening. Taka Zariel Shakamunisis, Ehie Ashur Ehie, Adonai Zabayoth, Malik Malika Malikun Maslamun, Tatlia Mazal Tarkab Qualanhud Barhayula Kazmas, Shimhahir. Now we go to the black candle again and we imagine our archangels 3 times. Jibriel. He's aware of me. Jibriel. He turns to me. Jibriel, he will help me. Mikael, 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 Israfel, 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 Azazel, 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 Azrael, Azrael, Azrael. The critical part of this is on the first call, they become aware of you. You know it. Even if you don't feel it, you know it. The second, they turn to you. They acknowledge you. The third, they come to your aid, and you better know it. Because that's whose authority you're working with here. Next, we call the elders. Mazer, Kamtam, Kazwara, Taikal. Okay, now we're ready. By the power of Tzidikal, I call upon mighty King Samhurish al-Tayar, the King of the Day. I wish for untamed riches. I wish for new business. I wish for profitable contracts and clients to come in. Oh, mighty King, Samhurish al-Tayar, you have never disappointed me with your generosity. Please bless me from your endless treasury. Now, we call upon the three Djinn of the Day. Fear-ur, Tankeus, Zanbur. And now we blow out the candle. And that is Untamed Riches, and that is how you use a Djinn altar. I highly recommend you setting it up this way because it really will help you focus on the ritual. A visual and hands-on aid is very practical as a tool. Do you need it? No. Could I do it without it? Absolutely. But you know what? Why would I want to? I get great results with it. Anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope you learned something. Take care.